Hello, Miss Mackenzie here. Today's video is going to be about how to find GCF and LCM using subsequent division. If we want to find the GCF of 24 and 30, we were taught to make lists, and those lists can be very long and tedious. I'm going to show you a little shortcut that we like to call subsequent division. Take 24 and 30 and draw an upside down division bar. Now you're going to divide 24 and 30 by the same exact factor. So 24 and 30 can both be divided by what number, guys? Okay, so we're going to divide by 6. 24 divided by 6 is? 30 divided by 6 is? Excellent. Can 4 and 5 be divided by any other factor but 1? So we're going to stop here. Your greatest common factor is 6. Okay? Now let's say the person next to you did not know that 6 is a factor of 24 and 30. And that person did 24 and 30, and they divided by the factor 2. What is 24 divided by 2? 12. Good. What is 30 divided by 2? Good. Now 12 and 15 can be divided by what factor? 3. Good job. 12 divided by 3 is? 15 divided by 3 is? 5. You take both factors. You're not allowed to have two answers. And factoring and greatest common factor always deals with multiplication. So 2 times 3 is? 6. Your GCF is still 6. So it doesn't matter what factors you decide to divide by or what order you do them in. As long as your math is correct, then you will get the same exact greatest common factor. Okay, let's try one more. You ready? 18 and 36. What do you want to divide by? I'm hearing, I heard somebody say 3. Did somebody say 3? 6. 18 divided by 6 is? 3. And 36 divided by 6 is? 6. Okay. And 3 and 6 could both be divided by? 3. Good. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. We have 2 factors, which means we're going to take 6 and multiply it by 3 to give us a GCF of 18. Now this one's a little bit different. 6 and 11. Well, 6 and 11 don't really share any other factors except for what? So I'm going to make the 1 just so you can see it. 6 divided by 1 is 6. 11 divided by 1 is 11. I'm not going to do that again. So your GCF must be 1. And it happens because 1 is a factor of every, it's a universal factor of every number. Okay? Can we do the same exact process with 3 numbers? Probably. Let's check it out. 18, 24, 30. Give me a small number just because I want to demonstrate what happens when you don't see the big numbers. 2. 2 is definitely a factor of all 3 numbers. 18 divided by 2 is? 9. 24 divided by 2 is? 12. And 30 divided by 2 is? 15. Okay. Now we have 9, 12, and 15. They definitely share a common factor. Which one is it? 3. 9 divided by 3 is? 3. 12 divided by 3 is? 4. 15 divided by 3 is? 5. Our GCF, 3, 4, and 5, first of all, they have no more common factors except for 1, so you could finish up there. We have a 2 and a 3, which means our GCF must be 6. Because 2 times 3 is 6. Okay? LCM, least common multiple. That's where we usually have to write these really long lists that are very tedious and very boring, and we don't want to really do it. So let's try the same exact process with 6 and 9. What are we going to subdivide by? 3, and I'm left with 2 and 3. Excellent. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And we're done. Here's your GCF. Your LCM is here too. You ready? Take your pen, draw an L around the entire thing. multiply 3, 2, and 3. Those are the numbers in the L. And your LCM must be what? 18. That is how you do LCM. So it's the same exact process, except that you were able to get it much faster than writing a list. So let's do bigger numbers. 18 and 24. Subdivide again on purpose. I want to subdivide by a small number. So I'm going to use 2. Can you use 6? Yeah, you can use 6, but let's just use 2 just because. 18 divided by 2 is? 24 divided by 2 is? Okay. 9 and 12, can we take it a little bit further? Sure. 9 and 12 can be divided by? And I'm left with 9 divided by 3 is? And 12 divided by 3 is? Excellent. Here's our GCF of 6. You see the 6? Okay. And our LCM is right there. So you're going to multiply 2 times 3 times 3 times 4, or 6 times 12, either one. Your LCM comes out to what? 2 times 3 is? 3 times 4 is? And 6 times 12 is? 70. 70 what? 2. Excellent. Oh, let me erase that 'cause it didn't really look like a 2. 72. Good job. Next one, 5 and 12. Again, a little bit unique. 5 and 12 don't really share many common factors except for 1. So I'm going to end up doing what? Multiplying 1 times 5 times 12, which the LCM must be 60. Excellent. Okay, what happens when you have 3 numbers? You think it works? Let's see. 15, 24, and 27 can all be divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is? 5. 24 divided by 3 is? 8. And 27 divided by 3 is? Excellent. 5, 8, and 9, we're kind of stuck again. There's our GCF. There's our LCM. We need a calculator if you have it. If not, who has a fast one? 3 times 5 times 8 times 9, or 15 times 72. Wow. Here's an example of 3 numbers that I would not want to write a list for. 15 times 72. 1,080. That is the LCM. Least common multiple. That's a big one. Last problem, I think. 18, 24, and 36. Okay? This is a tricky one. I'm going to divide by 2 again, and I get 9, 12, and 18. Then I'm going to divide by 3, and I get 3, 4, 6. All right. Now, this is unique. You ready, guys? 3, 4, and 6, they don't share a common factor. But do any of them share a common factor? Four and 6 share a common factor. So let's cross out that 3. I'm going to show you that that's the GCF. It's not going to change. And I'm going to pull the 3 down. 4 and 6 share the common factor what? 2. 4 divided by 2 is? 2. 6 divided by 2 is? 3. Again, 2 doesn't have anything in common with 3 and 3, but both 3's can be divided by? What else? 3 divided by 3 is? 1. 3 divided by 3 is? 1. Don't forget to bring that 2 down. Now, this does not affect the GCF. That is still 6. But we need all the numbers start multiplying for LCM. We're going to have 2 times 3 times 2 times 3 times 1 times 2 times 1. And 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. 36 is times 2 is? LCM is 72. Would you want to make a list for all these numbers? You can. 72 is not too low, but you don't have to.